Good evening and welcome to this week's Camel News, as the ships of the desert converged on the track in celebration of the UAE's 45th National Day. As ever, we'll be bringing you up to speed with all of the action from the Camel Racing Club headquarters in Al Marmoon. Let's start off with this week's headlines. His Excellency Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Dubai Crown Prince, Chairman of Dubai Sports Council, attends Al Marmoon qualifying races. There was exciting and strong competition among the junior camels, Ligaya, Hagag and Yathia categories. In the Ligaya and Yathia qualifying races, Marjara and Kahal ran out winners for their highnesses the Sheikhs. We check in with the international visitors at Al Marmoon. Plus, we have our snapshot of the week. In line with the huge UAE 45th National Day celebrations, and in the presence of His Excellency Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai and Chairman of the Executive Council, Dubai Camel Racing Club at Al Marmoon Racetrack staged 18 races for Their Highnesses the Sheikhs over a distance of 5 kilometres. Once again, it was a superb few days for Al Sifa stables. In the first race of the day, the informed team succeeded in sending out the first three home after Marjara won in style, beating the rest in a time of 7:33.04. In race 2, Al Sifa continued their dominance under the supervision of trainer Gaith Al Hilali, who sent Inzar to overcome her competitors in the fastest time so far. Inzar means warning, and she certainly issued one of these to her rivals, settling in the middle of the pack and making smooth progress on the home turn, before bursting to the front and landing the spoils in style, stopping the clock at 7:30.90. The third race brought with it a third win in a row for Al Sifa stables, continuing their fine performance. Gaith took the lead in the final 2 kilometres to grant trainer, Gaith, another big success in a time of 7:35.7. The fourth race saw a super 4-timer for Al Sifa when Lamar cruised to victory in a time of 7:35 flat. On day 2, Al Marmoon continued to celebrate the 45th National Day. This time there were 16 qualifying races for Yatha, owned by the Sheikhs, over a distance of 5 kilometres. The first race was for local Abkar, and Lama, for His Excellency Sheikh Rashid bin Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, raced into an early lead, but at the final stages, and from nowhere, jumped Kahal for Al Sifa stables to steal the victory, clocking 9:15.6. The thoroughbred Akbar division was a competitive affair, with Ramruma for Al Sifa, Al Darbi for His Excellency Sheikh Rashid bin Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and Mansoura for Al Shahaniya stables looking the three to concentrate on. However, it was Al Sifa stables Ramruna who hit the front like an arrow and won in style. The time was 9:23.2. Al Sifa continued their supremacy in the third race for local Jaydan, when their Murdi dominated the field and recorded a time of 9:17.1. Murdi means satisfactory, but this performance was far better than that. In the thoroughbred Jaydan race, Al Shahaniya stables sent out a strong team, headed by Muafrak, which means successful in Arabic. He led all the way from the gate to the line, winning in 9:30.6. In Heat 13, designated for local Abkar, Al Sifa stable showed off a potential star of the future when their Ethara, which means excitement, scored in a record time of 9:10.9. The festivities continued onto the fifth qualifying race for her gag owned by local handlers. There were 20 races of 3 kilometres each, with the first 12 open and the other 8 for breeding camels. The morning's open race was for Abkar, and it produced an exciting matchup between Awayed, Ramuz and Samha. However, it was Alam, which means flag in Arabic, for owner Saif Kamis Saeed Abadi, who turned the table on her rivals, recording the best time of 4:26.3. The second open race was for Jaydan. Muhalaf and Al-Mutahed fought for the lead, but in the final few hundred metres, it was Mubarak Mohanad Balhabab Al-Amri's camel who took the lead and crossed the finish line in 4:32.6. Race 13 was for local production Abkar, and it was the sons of Al-Wagan who took the local breeding title, or Abkar. Ubaid Mohammed Nikarat Al-Amri sent out Araf to seal the victory, succeeding in a time of 40:33. In the second round, specially designated for local breeding Jaydan, it was Shobash for owner Mohammed Musfir Belgoeba, who produced a strong finish, beating his rivals in 9:32.8. The fifth qualifying races were for locally owned Hagag and took place over a distance of 5 kilometres, 18 races. The last 8 heats were for breeding camels. The first race of the open rounds was for local purebred Akbar, and it produced something of a surprise. Babula Muqtara and Wessam battled for the early lead, but it was Hazira, which means cautious, who bided her time. Owned by Hadif Hamad Afsan Alawadi, she quickened late in the race and overtook them in the final stages, clocking 7:31.3. The second race was for thoroughbred Abkar. Watan means homeland in Arabic, and Rashid Mohammed Murer bin Dry Al Mansouri's camel turned in a fantastic display, crossing the finish line in 7:32, the best time of the day. Race number 11 was for the local breeding Abkar, and it looked a three-way tussle. Malami, Bayan and Khalija all started well, but the situation changed when Thamina, owned by Sultan Mohammed Markan Al Mansouri, took the lead and won the race in style, finishing in 7:41.
الله يجزيك خير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد. يحق لكم خير. ناموس ثمينة اليوم في الشوط الأول إنتاج عن ناموس واحد، هو بناموس ناموسين. نعم، ناموس الإنتاج لذته غير وطعمه غير. وثمينة إنتاج أبو وأم في العزبة. نعم، تنحدر سلالتها من سلالة مياس أو أمها بنت سراب. والله صحيح نحن ثمينة الحين في مرحلة تجهيز إن شاء الله، وإن شاء الله لا من شد الركض إن شاء الله نحن نجهز إن شاء الله الأشواط حساسة، الأشواط الرموز، وفالها إن شاء الله وفالكم وفال المشاهدين الناموس والخير. والله يا أبو شهاب، هذا ثاني اشتراك لها في هذه السنة، ثاني اشتراك. اشتركناها اشتراك وسبقت في رماح، وهذا ثاني اشتراك. الشوط الأول غير. لو ما الشوط الأول ما يتني الكاميرا، لو ما الشوط الأول ما رمست عندك وفي هذا الميكروفون. الشوط الأول لذته غير، وحتى يعني يوم أنت تسبق عندك بكرة في الشوط الأول تعرف أنها على مستوى، ما حد يقدم بكرة له في الشوط الأول إلا هي على مستوى الشوط الأول. أنا نومس لأبويا سلطان محمد مرخان المنصوري، وأنا نومس الراعي العابرة أخويا مبارك مرخان المنصوري، ونومس الجميع هالخزنة وهالرماح كافة، وهذا ناموسهم. وأقول لهم إن شاء الله أن نشرفكم ونبيض ضيوفكم إن شاء الله في المحافل الخارجية، وإن شاء الله مياس ثمينة إن شاء الله من اليوم وغادي إن شاء الله ما تقع إلا في شوط حساس، وإن شاء الله في شوط رمز إن شاء الله.
Race number 12 was for the thoroughbred Abkar, and it was Mamduha who took the lead in the last 2 kilometres, accompanied by Nawasi. Guillaume soon took the lead from both of them, but she couldn't continue her fast rhythm and faded, allowing Hajar, owned by Nasib Khalifa Saeed Al-Kili, to nick the win in a time of 7:35.24. On Tuesday morning, Al Mamoon held the 5th qualifiers for the junior camels, Hagag, Lagaya and Yathia. The day's racing was devoted to Yathia for local owners. There were 16 rounds over 6 kilometres, with the final 6 races for breeding Yathia. The first race was the purebred Abkar. It was led from the off by Al Shana, Masaya and Muda, but later Al Abra and Madawi took the lead from them. Then, from out of the back jumped Masika, owned by Mohammed Hamad Khalifa Al Attiyah, who caused an upset and won in style in 9:19.05. The competition continued to be red hot, and the second race was a hot one for Abkar, Barmajar and Al Ghazira, who dictated the early pace, until Zahiya took the lead from them. In the final 2 kilometres, Gaira solved the puzzle, beating Al Ghazira and Katara in a time of 9:23.07. The fourth race saw the best time, when Wata, owned by Humaid Saleh Al-Mehi Al-Nasori, clocked 9:16.14, impressing as he did so. The 11th race of the morning was for local breeding Abkar. It saw Shahid and Saraba, which means Mirage, race to an early advantage until Ashaba took over. However, it was Al Zahiya, which means the Bright, owned by Saif Mohammed Ray Al Shiga, who finished the best, winning in a time of 9:24.00. Bright indeed. The second race was devoted to thoroughbred Abkar. It was run perfectly to suit Mula, who broke well, taking the lead along with Magutha. Magutha briefly strode on, but Mula wasn't to be beaten and showed great tenacity to win in 9:28.09. Time to review the best times recorded by the junior camels for their highnesses the sheikhs. Inzar was the fastest in 07:30.90 in the Lagaya category, while in the Yetha races, Ithara was the quickest in 9:10.9. Now for the fastest times among the locally owned camels. In the Hagag group, Alam recorded the best time of 4:26.3, while in the Lagaya category, Watan recorded the best time, 7:30.2. In the Yathaya category, Wada was fastest, winning in 9:16.14. Time for this week's look at our Al Mamoon champions. Camels, acknowledged as the ship of the desert, have long been considered a symbol of the UAE's pride and prosperity. Camel racing is an important segment of the country's unique culture and tradition. The National Day Camel Marathon, organised by the Hamdan bin Mohammed Heritage Centre in cooperation with DubaI Camel Racing Club, took place on Saturday the 3rd of December in Dubai International Endurance City, Say Al Salam. It was organised to safeguard the important cultural heritage of the UAE and is part of the ongoing 45th UAE National Day celebrations. The media centre of Dubai Camel Racing Club, always at the heart of events, was keen to broadcast all of the occurrences that happened during the National Day Camel Marathon. This unique race showcased the kindred spirit between man and animal. It was open to UAE citizens of 18 years of age and above, and took place over a 24-kilometre distance. 52 riders gathered at Say Al Salam to compete in the race, which is now in its second year. The win went to Salim Obaid Al Hamab, riding his camel Lahik, who took the lead from the start and held off the challenge of Shafar Gilliam riding Muwaili in the final metres, collecting the two valuable prizes. Shafar Ghulam and Mulay held on for second, ahead of Ali Masbar bin Mufli Al Katabi. So, our congratulations go to Salim Obaid Al Hamad, winner of the Golden Sword and the car. We caught up with him after his big success.
الله يسعد خير وما قصرتوا، الله يطول بعمر شيوخنا، وصراحة الركض يعني كل سنة نركبه ونحب الركوب وما قصر. الله يطول بعمر الشيخ محمد بن راشد وحط لنا الجائزة، والله يطول بعمارهم شيوخنا وما قصر. حاول طنة وهالهجن هالتراث ابونا زايد، وعاد لازم نخليه كل سنة ونركبه. والله يطول بعمار الشيوخ ويخلونا ونركب.
We also spoke to Shafar Ghilam Musa Al Balushi, the second winner.
عندنا شيء الكثير الحمد لله، ونشكر أصحاب اسم الشيوخ ما قصروا، الله يطول بعمارهم، وركوبنا كان جميل الحمد لله، وفوز وهذا المصيبة الحين، بس الحمد لله فزنا هنا مركز ثاني، أول ثاني ثالث اعتبارا الفوز. نشكر أصحاب الشيوخ، أصحاب اسم الشيوخ مستانسين، بس الحين المصيبة الفوز. الحمد لله إننا ثاني، كان كلام تفرني كأنك تسبق إن شاء الله، بس الحمد لله إننا ثاني.
Time now to hear from Ali Masbar bin Mufli Al Katabi, who was the third winner.
ركوب طول عمرك من يوم الحنصار نركب، الله يطول عمر ابوي.
الحمد لله
علمنا على الركوب والحمد لله. والله يوم جميل جدا جدا، ونادي هذا الناموس اليوم لدولة الامارات وللشيخ خليفه وسيدي صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد. والله انا كنت اطمح صراحه للسيف اليوم، يعني كنت اطمح للسيف، لكن والله كتب هذا حظ نصيب. اهدي طول عمرك للدوله، واهدي الناموس طول عمرك لاهلي اول شيء، وثاني شيء في الاخص يعني اهدي الناموس هذا لسالم بن سعيد الزرعي، عشان وجوده بعيره طول عمرك ومشاركه به. اشكر دوله الامارات بالعيد الوطني، واشكر نادي دبي لسباق الهجن على نظامهم وتنظيمهم صراحه الرائع.
The staff at the Hamdan bin Mohammed Heritage Centre, Sultan Rashid bin Markad, Mohammed bin Dalmouk and Rashid Al Kasoni had the pleasure of presenting the prizes to the winners. The champion received a golden sword and a car, while the second received 70,000 dirhams and the third 30,000 dirhams. There were also prizes for the next 7 home. A pretty good day's work, all in all. Afterwards, everyone extended their thanks to His Excellency Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum and to the staff of Hamdan bin Mohammed Heritage Centre for their efforts in staging the popular event. While everyone in the UAE celebrated the 45th National Day, Several visitors spent the long weekend with a trip to, where else? Al Mamoon racetrack.
Amazing, better than we thought. We actually thought there was only going to be one race today, and then we find out there's 18 races. So amazing how many camels, and then to find out the cost of each camel, it's amazing, really good. Even just being here on National Day as well, it makes it a little bit more special. It's something that in England you don't hear of. The robots on the back of the camels as well, it's really good, especially with all the cars and the shake as well here today. Amazing.
Well, for me, it is definitely kind of experience I would want to recommend. But in all fairness, I kind of got an impression that it was something that you guys wanted to keep in between yourselves. That's why it's not necessarily strongly advertised among tourists. So my impression was that it's something that you want to keep locally to your people rather than spread the word out there. So if you really want it recommending to other people, that's definitely something we're going to be doing. That's for sure, yeah. Because it is an incredible experience, that's definitely, and something so traditional as well. It's just being part of it is amazing.
Oh, it's really interesting. I've seen horse racing before in Europe and the UK, but never camel racing before, so it's quite exciting. Maybe because there are jockeys on the horses, then there is more of a human element, I suppose. But it's still excitement to see who is going to win. So I guess that's the big excitement. Which camel comes first, which horse comes first?
Let's have a look at this week's snapshot. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Camel Racing News, a slightly longer one than usual. We'll be back with you again next week.